Rian sat quietly near the giant window of his space station home, looking out at the endless stars. He was a man who had everything: money, power, and a name known across many planets. Yet, inside, he felt lonely. Every person he met seemed to see his credits, not his heart. In the past, he tried to find real friends and someone special, but it always ended the same. As soon as people found out he was rich, their smiles changed. They acted nicer, but Rian could see through them. No one treated him like a simple person. Tired of this, he decided on a new plan. "I will hide my real life," Rian said softly to himself. "I will live like a poor man and meet someone who doesn't care about wealth." Rian's personal assistant, a small robot named Lumo, floated beside him. "Sir, this plan may be risky. What if you meet no one honest?" "Then at least I will know the truth," Rian replied. "In this future world, people often met through technology. Blind dates were common in the stars. Humans now lived on different stations, moons, and planets. To help people meet without judging by looks or money, some old-style human matchmaking programs still existed. Rian chose one of these. For his disguise, Rian changed everything. His expensive clothes were replaced with simple workman's uniform, the type worn by ship cleaners and cargo workers. He covered his perfect teeth with dull covers and even added a fake scar near his eyebrow to look rough. His hair was cut short, simple. Lumo handled the rest. The robot wiped all Rian's data from public systems. No one could search his face or name now. The next step was joining the program. Rian filled the form simply. Name, Rian Real, but too common to cause attention. Job, cargo worker credits. Low hobbies, walking. Old music, star watching. After sending the forms, he waited. A message came 2 days later. "You have a match. Her name is Mira. She worked as a pilot of small cargo ships, earning just enough to survive. She liked simple meals, old songs, and stories about old Earth." Rian smiled at this. A woman who doesn't dream of golden space towers. Interesting. The meeting was set in a small cafe inside a busy space market. It was a perfect place. No one would look at him twice there. Regular people, workers, and travelers filled the area. No luxury guests ever visited. The night before the meeting, Rian looked at himself in the mirror. He didn't recognize his own face. For the first time in years, he felt nervous. What if she still judges me? What if even now people can't see beyond status? He whispered. Lumo beeped softly. "Sir, humans often say, no risk, no reward." Rian laughed a little. True. Next day, he left his station home in a basic shuttle and reached the space market. His heart beat faster. As he walked to the cafe, the smell of warm bread and simple meals filled the air. Workers laughed, children ran between tables. He waited. Then he saw her. Mira entered the cafe quietly. She wore a plain gray pilot jacket, her dark hair tied back. Her face was simple, yet calm. She looked around, her eyes honest, searching. Rian stood up and raised his hand slowly. Mira smiled and walked to him. And in that moment, Rian's test had truly begun. Mira sat down across from Rian at the small table. Her smile was soft, but her eyes held the tiredness of someone who worked too many hours. Rian noticed the small oil stains on her jacket and the rough patches on her hands. She was a real worker, not pretending like him. "Hi, you must be Rian," Mira said kindly. "Yes." "And you must be Mira," Rian replied, keeping his voice calm. The small space cafe buzzed around them. Waiters carried trays of hot bread and spiced drinks. Voices mixed with the hum of ships outside. But at that table, everything felt quiet. For a moment, "So what do you do?" Mira asked after a short pause. "I work in cargo cleaning ships mostly," Rian answered carefully, testing her reaction. Mira nodded without surprise. "Hard job." Rian was surprised. Most people he met before, when he used his real name, would have looked disappointed, but Myra didn't. She just listened. "And you?" he asked. "I'm a pilot, not fancy work, short flights. Delivering parts, food, sometimes people." Myra replied. She sipped her drink, eyes thoughtful. "Pays enough to eat, not much more." Ryan watched her carefully. Her tone had no sadness, only honesty. "Do you enjoy it?" he asked. Myra looked surprised, then smiled slightly. "It's work, but I do like flying. Stars are peaceful." Ryan felt something stir in his chest. For years he met people who wanted more, bigger, richer. Myra seemed content with small things. But his plan was not over yet. He decided to test her kindness. "I'm thinking to leave my job," he said slowly. "I'm tired. Maybe I'll just stop working and see what happens." Myra paused. She looked at him carefully. Then, instead of judging, she spoke gently. "Why? Are you okay?" Ryan blinked. He expected her to tell him he was lazy, but she looked concerned, not angry. "I just feel like life has no meaning. Working all day, no one caring," Ryan said, adding some sadness to his voice, pretending to be lost. Myra leaned forward slightly. "It's normal to feel tired. But giving up doesn't help. Trust me, I tried once." Ryan's curiosity grew. "You tried to give up?" Myra nodded, looking down at her hands. "Last year, lost a job when my old ship broke. Couldn't pay for repairs. Thought of quitting. Everything. But someone gave me a small job. Helped me stand again. So I keep going now." Her voice was quiet, but honest. Ryan felt something shift inside him. This was not what he expected. He had come to test her heart, but her words were testing his. A waiter placed a simple meal between them. 2 plates of bread and warm stew. Myra smiled. "Eat. Food helps sadness." Ryan picked up his spoon, watching her from the corner of his eye. She wasn't acting. She didn't know his secret. She was treating him like a normal person. And that felt strange. "You're not like other people I met," Ryan said softly. Myra raised an eyebrow. "Is that good or bad?" "Good," he said after a pause. She smiled again, just a small, honest smile. Their meal continued, full of simple talk. Myra spoke about her small ship, about her favorite space routes. She liked flying near broken moons, where the rocks floated quietly. Ryan listened, realizing he hadn't heard simple stories like these for years. At the end of the meal, Myra stood up. "I need to get back to work," she said kindly. Ryan nodded, standing too. "Thank you for the company, Ryan." He hesitated, then asked, "Can we meet again?" Myra thought for a moment, then nodded. "Sure, simple talks are rare." She left, walking back toward her ship. Ryan stood alone for a while, staring after her. For the first time in a long while, he wasn't sure if he was testing Myra, or if Myra was changing him. Asked ChatGPT. Ryan waited nervously outside the small space cafe again. He never felt nervous like this before. As a rich man, people always tried to impress him. But now, as a simple worker, he felt unsure. He looked down at his plain clothes, brushed dust from his sleeve, and told himself to stay calm. This was just another test. He needed to see if Myra was truly different from everyone else. Soon, Myra arrived. She looked the same as before, simple, natural, and calm. "Hello, Ryan," she said with a small smile. "Hi, Myra. Thank you for meeting me again." Ryan replied. They sat at the same table as last time. The cafe was busy, but their small table felt like a quiet corner in the noisy world. Ryan decided today he would push her. He would say things that might scare most people away. He needed to know if Myra was really kind or just pretending. "So, Myra," Ryan began, acting nervous. "I want to tell you something." Myra looked at him, her face serious. "What is it?" "I'm not doing well," Ryan said. "I Have no real plans. My job doesn't pay much. Sometimes I sleep in my ship. Mira blinked but didn't look away. She didn't laugh. She didn't stand up to leave. I'm sorry to hear that, she said softly. Rian looked at her carefully. He expected pity, maybe fake sympathy. But Mira looked truly concerned. Don't you think I'm wasting my life? Rian asked. Mira shook her head. No, life is hard. Many people struggle. It's not your fault. And it's never too late to change. Rian paused, surprised. But I don't know how. Then let's think together, Mira said simply. Maybe you can learn ship repairs. There's always work for people who can fix engines. Why are you being nice to me? Rian asked suddenly. Mira smiled gently. Because being kind costs nothing. Her words hit Rian like a quiet storm. So simple, so true. Rian felt his test failing. Mira wasn't like the others. She didn't care that he had no money, no big name. She was kind without reason, but he needed to be sure. He decided to push further. I also have debts, Rian lied carefully. A lot of them. Maybe I'll never be free. Mira frowned now, but not in anger. She leaned forward. Rian, debts don't define you. They're numbers. They can be solved. How? Rian asked, his voice shaking as part of the act. You work slowly. You don't give up. And ... If you have no one to help, maybe now you do. Rian's eyes widened. What do you mean? I mean I can help you find small jobs. Maybe you work with me sometimes. Split payment. Rian couldn't believe what he was hearing. Mira, who had little herself, was offering to share her work with a man she thought was poorer than her. Why would you do that for me? He asked. Mira looked serious now. Because when I was lost, someone helped me. It's only right I help someone else. Rian's voice failed. He just nodded. Their conversation changed after that. Mira talked about her past jobs, her dream of owning a slightly bigger ship one day. Not to be rich, just to be safe. Rian listened silently. In his heart, guilt started to grow. He was lying to her. She was honest, but he was not. Soon Mira stood up. I have to go now. Cargo run to the nearby moon. Can I walk you to your ship? Rian asked. Mira smiled. Sure. As they walked side by side through the busy spaceport, Rian felt a strange peace. He had come to test Mira. But with every step he realized something. She had already passed the test, and he didn't know what to do next. Mira worked hard every day, flying her small cargo ship from one station to another. Her ship was old, the engines noisy, and the controls slow. But Mira didn't complain. She just kept going. She believed working hard was the only way forward. One morning, Rian waited near her ship after her delivery run. He watched as she stepped out, wiping grease from her hands. Morning, Mira, he said, trying to sound normal. Mira smiled, tired but calm. Morning, Rian. Didn't expect to see you here. I wanted to help today. Maybe clean or carry things, Rian said. Mira laughed softly. You want to work? Rian nodded. I need to start somewhere. All right, she said, handing him a small toolkit. Let's clean the engine pipes. Rian had never touched real ship work before. As a rich man, others always worked for him. But today, he worked beside Mira. They cleaned pipes, fixed small cables, and checked fuel lines. Rian's hands got dirty, but Mira never once treated him like he was weak or foolish. She just taught him step by step, patient and kind. By afternoon, both sat on the floor near the ship, drinking cool water. You worked well, Mira said. Rian smiled. Thanks, I'll try again tomorrow. You can, Mira said simply. Then her voice turned serious. Rian, why are you really doing this? Rian froze. What do you mean? You say you're poor, but you act ... different. Like you don't know how hard life really is. Rian's heart skipped. Was Mira guessing the truth? But then she shook her head and said, "Maybe you're just tired of life. It happens." Rian said nothing. His secret stayed safe for now. Later that evening, Mira talked about her next job. "It's dangerous," she admitted. "Flying through asteroid belts to deliver medical supplies. Pays good, but risky." "Don't go," Rian said quickly. "I need the money. My ship needs repairs. I don't have a choice." Rian felt helpless. He wanted to reveal his real life and protect her, but the plan wasn't over. He couldn't ruin the test yet, but he couldn't let her risk her life either. That night, after Mira left, Rian made a secret decision. He contacted his old assistant, Lumo. "Listen carefully," Rian said. "Mira is taking a dangerous route tomorrow. Pay the mining station to clear a safe path through the asteroid field. And make sure Mira never knows I helped." "Yes, sir," Lumo replied. The next day, Mira flew her ship through the asteroid belt safely. Unknown to her, the rocks were already cleared. The delivery was easy, and she earned her payment. When she returned, Mira smiled brighter than before. "Rian, the job was easier than I thought," she said happily. "Maybe luck is changing." Rian forced a smile. He felt strange inside. He wanted to tell her the truth, but something stopped him. Fear, maybe. Fear that she would hate him for lying. "You deserve good luck," he said quietly. Mira laughed. "Maybe I'm thinking to save now. A new ship, perhaps, in a few months." "That sounds good," Rian said. She looked at him for a moment. "And you? Still thinking of leaving your work? Maybe. Maybe I'll keep working," he said. Mira nodded. "Good. You're not as weak as you think." Her words felt like a gift. A simple one. Honest and pure. That night, Rian sat alone in his room, thinking deeply. He had everything money could buy. But no one had ever believed in him the way Mira did, even when she thought he was poor. He whispered softly to himself, "How long can I lie to her?" But he had no answer. All he knew was that Mira's kindness was real. And he didn't want to lose it. 1 week passed. Rian kept meeting Mira every evening after her work. They sat near the shipyard, watching small ships fly past. They talked about simple things, old songs, childhood memories, favorite planets. Rian liked listening to Mira's stories. They were real, not fancy or fake. But inside, Rian felt heavy. His secret was growing larger every day. Mira thought he was poor. She thought he was a worker like her. And every time she smiled at him, Rian felt more guilty. One night, Mira sat quietly beside him. She didn't speak for a while. Rian noticed her face looked different, sad. "What's wrong, Mira?" he asked softly. Mira looked down at her hands. "I was just remembering my family." Rian listened carefully. "My father worked in a mining station," she said. "He died 2 years ago. The company never paid what they promised. My family lost everything after that. My mother and younger brother now live on a small moon, working long hours to survive." Rian felt pain in his chest. He had never known this part of her life. "I'm sorry, Mira," he whispered. She nodded slowly. "It's okay, life doesn't stop. I promised myself I'd work hard. Maybe buy a small house for them one day. A safe place." Rian wanted to tell her he could buy her 100 houses. But he stayed silent. His lie was a wall between them. "You're strong," he said quietly. Mira gave a weak smile. "Strong? No, just stubborn." Rian smiled too, but inside he was thinking. Mira was not like others. She had reasons to hate rich people, yet she treated him kindly. Even when she believed he had nothing. Later that night, Rian returned to his real home, far from the noisy shipyard. He walked through empty halls filled with gold walls and soft lights. It felt cold, lonely. Lumo, his robot assistant, floated beside him. "Sir, you seem troubled." "I don't know what to do," Rian admitted. "You created this situation." Lumo said gently, "Now you must decide how to end it." Rian sat down on his bed. "If I tell her the truth, she may hate me. Or she may understand." Rian shook his head. "Why should she? I lied. I tested her. Because your heart was honest, even when your words were not." Rian looked at Lumo. The little robot always spoke in logic, but sometimes its logic felt like wisdom. Next morning, Rian made a choice. Today he would tell Mira the truth. He found her at her usual spot near the old cafe, drinking tea alone. She smiled when she saw him. "You're early today." "I needed to see you," Rian said seriously. Mira noticed his tone and sat up straight. "What's wrong?" "There's something I've hidden from you," Rian said. Mira frowned but said nothing. "I'm not who you think I am," he continued. "I'm not a cargo worker. I'm not poor." Mira's eyes widened. She didn't speak. "My real name is Rian Wheeler. I own Wheeler Industries. My home is not in the workers' zone. It's in the high tower above the station." Mira blinked, shocked. "I met you in disguise," Rian said softly. "I wanted to meet someone who didn't care about money. That's why I lied." Silence filled the air. People passed by, but to Rian and Mira, the world had gone quiet. Finally, Mira stood up. "You tested me?" she asked softly. Rian nodded, feeling shame burn in his chest. Mira looked down, hurt in her eyes. "I thought you were different." "I'm sorry, Mira. I never wanted to hurt you." Mira took a step back. "I need time," she said quietly. Rian nodded. He watched her walk away, her back straight, her steps slow. For the first time, Rian felt truly poor, because now he knew he could lose the only real person he had found, and there was no money that could fix that. Days passed slowly. Rian waited, but Mira didn't contact him. He spent long hours sitting in his rich home, feeling more alone than ever before. His gold walls and soft music felt useless now. Without Mira's simple voice and honest smile, everything felt empty. Lumo, his small robot, floated silently near him. "Sir, would you like to send her a message?" Lumo asked carefully. "No," Rian replied quietly. "She needs space." Rian wanted Mira to return because she trusted him, not because he chased her. Meanwhile, Mira worked harder than before. She tried to forget the truth Rian had told her. But every time she saw a rich ship fly above the station, she remembered his words. "I'm not poor. I'm Rian Wheeler." She had believed he was like her, a worker, a struggler. But now she felt like a fool. He had watched her, tested her, and lied. She remembered every kind word she gave him, every time she shared her simple food, every moment she tried to help him. And now she questioned everything. Was he ever real? She whispered to herself. Still, deep inside, Mira remembered something important. Rian had never treated her badly. He never laughed at her. He never looked down on her, even when he could have. His words, his smiles, they had felt honest. Even if his story was not. One night, Mira received a new job request, a cargo delivery to a mining moon. Pay was good, but the route was dangerous. She knew the risks. Normally she would refuse, but now her heart felt heavy. She needed to escape. She accepted the job. At the same time, Lumo informed Rian, "Sir, Mira has accepted a dangerous cargo job." Rian stood up at once. "What? Why?" She didn't explain. Rian's heart raced. "She's angry. Maybe she's trying to run from everything." Lumo beeped softly. "Should I clear the route like before?" Rian shook his head. "No. She will know someone helped her. I cannot interfere this time." "But her life is in danger, sir." Rian looked out the window, watching her small ship prepare to leave. "I trust her skills," he said softly, though his heart was heavy with fear. Mira sat inside her ship, gripping the controls. The engines roared as she entered the dark asteroid field. Large rocks floated everywhere. One wrong move and her ship would be destroyed. But Myra's hand stayed steady. "I can do this," she whispered. Memories of her father teaching her to fly returned. She remembered his voice, his calm instructions. Slowly, carefully, she moved between the deadly rocks. Hours passed. Her ship got scratched. The engine lights blinked red. But Mira refused to stop. Finally, she saw the mining station in the distance. She had made it. Her ship landed roughly but safely. Back at the station, Rian watched the live flight data in secret. When he saw her ship land safely, he closed his eyes and sighed in relief. "She's alive," he whispered. Lumo floated beside him. "You are proud of her, sir?" Rian nodded slowly. "She's stronger than I ever was." 3 days later, Mira returned. Her ship was damaged and her body was tired. But her eyes were clear. She stood near the same cafe where she once met Rian. This time, it was her choice. Rian saw her and walked towards her carefully. Mira ... She looked at him quietly. Then, for the first time in days, she spoke. "I survived." "I know," Rian said softly. "I watched." "You didn't clear the path this time." "No." "Why?" "Because I believed in you." Mira looked down, thinking. Then she said simply, "I need to understand ... Who are you, Rian? The rich man or the simple worker I met?" Rian's answer was honest. "I'm both." Mira looked into his eyes, searching for lies. But this time, there were none. And somewhere deep in her heart, she knew it. The air between them was quiet. Mira stood still, her arms crossed, as she looked at Rian. She was confused but calm. Her face showed no anger now, only questions. Rian took a deep breath. He knew this was the moment. "No more hiding. I want to tell you everything," he said softly. Mira nodded once. "Then speak." They sat down at the small cafe table where they first met. Around them, workers and traders moved busily, but neither Mira nor Rian noticed. Their world was silent. "I was lonely, Mira," Rian began. "All my life, people saw my name, not me. They saw my company, my money, my ships. No one ever treated me like a normal person." Mira listened, her face serious. "I thought, maybe if I looked poor, dressed simple, and acted like a worker, someone would treat me like a human." "So you chose me," Mira said softly. Rian nodded. "Yes, I didn't plan it. Your name came from the matchmaking program. I didn't expect you to be different, but you were." Mira said nothing. Her eyes watched him carefully. "I lied to test you. That was wrong. But my feelings, Mira ... they're real, I swear." Mira looked away for a moment, thinking. Her voice, when she spoke, was quiet. "Do you know how it feels? To think you've met someone like you. Someone who understands hard work, simple life. And then find out it was all a game?" Rian felt her words cut deep. "It wasn't a game to me. Then why didn't you trust me from the start?" Mira asked. Rian lowered his head. "Because I didn't trust anyone." Myra looked down too. Her heart felt heavy. She remembered the moments they shared, the simple meals, the honest talks. Were those moments real? Or were they just part of his plan? Finally, she stood up. Rian looked up quickly, afraid she would walk away. "I need to think, Rian," Mira said softly. "I need time." Rian stood too, his voice shaking. "Myra, please. I don't hate you," she said quickly. "But I'm hurt. And hurt needs time to heal." Rian nodded slowly. He respected her choice. "I'll wait for you, no matter how long." Mira gave a small, sad smile. "Goodbye for now." She turned and walked away. Rian watched her go, feeling emptier than ever before. Days passed. Mira worked in silence. She flew her small ship, made her deliveries, and returned to her small room. But her mind wasn't at peace. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Rian's face. Not the rich man's face. Not the poor man's face. Just his honest eyes when he said, My feelings are real. Her heart battled her mind. She felt betrayed, yet deep down, she knew Rian had never truly hurt her. He didn't use her. He didn't laugh at her. He respected her, even when lying. She remembered how he worked beside her, cleaning engine pipes with his soft hands. She remembered his silent smiles when she shared her food. And suddenly, she understood something. Rian didn't lie to hurt her. He lied because he was afraid. Afraid of being used, afraid of being alone. Mira sat silently in her ship's cockpit, staring at the stars outside. She whispered to herself, "So was I." One morning, Rian stood near the same cafe, as he did every day since Myra left. He waited without hope, but his heart refused to give up. Then he saw her. Mira walked toward him slowly, her face calm but serious. Rian's heart stopped. She stopped. In front of him. "I thought about everything," she said simply. Rian said nothing. He was too afraid to speak. Mira continued, "I'm willing to meet you again, Rian. But this time, no lies." Rian's voice cracked as he answered softly, "No lies, never again." Mira looked into his eyes one last time, then nodded. Double quotes good. She turned slightly and began walking. This time, she didn't walk away. She walked beside him. And for Rian, it felt like the first real step in his life.